Hey, Rhino family. We got another Rhino alumni here for you today. One of our all-time favorite guys, just because of the way he goes about his business on the ball field. Stephen Hill. Stephen Hill played with us at 17U and 18U, I believe it was, and he came over and had a really, really good high school career. And he ended up going and playing at South Suburban College here locally for the JUCO route. And then had a good career there, and ended up going to Morehead State, where he's currently, I believe, a redshirt junior. Is that right, Stephen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so he's currently a redshirt junior at Morehead State. Last year, he had one hell of a year for him. Hit 327, had 10 doubles, 6 home runs, and 37 RBI. So not only put the bat on the ball, but average-wise, but obviously took the ball out of the park too. So really good year. Then before this whole shutdown period happened, he started the year by hitting 294, had 5 doubles and 2 home runs already. So was on pace again for a really good year. Stephen, man, I appreciate you jumping on here and kind of talking about your experiences for our current players.
Yeah, I'm excited to dive in, talk to the Rhino family.
Let's first and foremost, how was your recruiting experience? I know you ended up going to the junior college route first, and obviously had a good career there. How was that whole process for you, and how did you end up picking South Sub?
Yeah, I was never a big, strong, fast guy in high school. I kind of like to think of myself as like a late bloomer, if you will, and I think the JUCO route was definitely. I knew I could always put a barrel to the ball and put a glove on the ball, but I couldn't really throw it very hard or hit it very far. But so I knew I'd have to go the JUCO route if I wanted to find a way, and I'm pretty happy with my decision. And I think, well, I mean, once you go JUCO, the recruiting process starts all over again, but it's a little bit more fun because you get a little bit more pull, and you start seeing the schools you want to actually talk to.
Yeah. So you came over to Rhino at 17U. How was your experience with us? Kind of being a little older when you kind of first came over. But what was the experience that you enjoyed most about Rhino baseball?
Uh, I really enjoyed all of the parts of Rhino baseball. I think that having the facility open all the time for the boys to use is huge. Like that would definitely like took me into like another level coming into there. That started my my sorry.
You're all right. Keep it rolling. You're good.
That started my jump start to being bigger, faster, and stronger, and just developing my skills. And I also think the atmosphere there and all the friends I made, and even like just the interactions with the coaches and players are really cool. It's really open and free.
Yeah, I think with you, you're really good buddies, and your best friend is Anthony Coco, and together you guys were maybe two of the hardest workers we've had, in Rhino baseball really over the last 8 years. There was very little time that I didn't see you guys in a cage. If practice was there, obviously you guys are there. If there's no practices going on, you guys are still there putting in your work. And you even saw it at the college level when you went to South Sub. I mean, you still came back, and you guys were in there constantly, and always getting work at. So that's where I think you really took that next step when you took that game seriously, and put in all that extra work, and really kind of refined your skills a little bit.
Yeah, I mean all the resources are there to use 24/7. Me and Anthony definitely we definitely took advantage.
You did. So how do you think the JUCO side? I know you said you enjoyed your process. You're glad you went to the JUCO side. How did that help you as a player, as a person? How did you develop there? What are the biggest positives, I guess, of the junior college route?
I think there's positives in the negatives. Honestly, it's like it's such like I don't want to say a grind because I mean if you love baseball and you love the process, like that's exactly what the junior college route is. It's like it's all practice and just working all the time. And if you're like your back's against the wall, like you have to make it or break it. Like so there's no 4-year degrees in junior college. You got to move on. So it's all the work you put into it that really takes you as far as you want to go.
Yeah, I think that grind part that you mentioned, it's not for everyone. It's a different ball game when you're going to the junior college route. But for the guys that truly want to continue to improve in terms of maybe making another jump in terms of their game, I think it's a great route. But you have to love it, man. You have to love that process of things and the ability to get better. It just doesn't happen overnight. And I think the junior college route, anytime you talk to any guys that go that route, man, if you want to get better, it's there for you.
Absolutely. It's all up to you. And I think like the junior college route, it's definitely takes it upon yourself. Like there's not too many people pushing you. Like it's all self-driven. Like your coach is pushing you and like your teammates are pushing you, but it's gonna be like that inner, it's that inner want that's
Yeah.
gonna take you where you want to go.
So how did Morehead State ultimately see you? And at the end, why did you end up deciding to go to Morehead State?
It's actually a funny story how Morehead State got to see me at this showcase in Indianapolis. I think it was at Grand Park.
Yep.
I had sent out like probably like 50 emails to coaches, and I got like maybe like 10 responses, and I think I got like 8 like I'll be there.
Okay.
And so like it was pretty cool. That was like a cool like feeling for me. Like I had like 8 coaches like lined up on the third base side, like watching this whole game from start to finish.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, it was like the worst game I've ever played in the field. I made like 5 errors, and like every error I just see a coach like walk away. But Morehead State, Coach Mack that was here at the time, he actually saw my in and out. I had a great in and out, and then he only came back for my at bats because another team was playing that he really wanted to watch, and I had great at bats and a good in and out, and that's what sealed the deal.
That's good. But I think that man, that's a great story because I think with players, to know that hey, you're gonna have bad days, right? It's how you react to that. Like if you would have thrown your glove and started dropping f-bombs in the field and hanging your head, maybe that opportunity with Morehead State wouldn't have came along. Maybe they would have said, I don't even care what his at-bats do because of what he just did. So, we always try and push that on players that, hey, you live to fight another day. You're going to have bad days. It's baseball, right? And look at your case in point. I mean, you had one of the worst days that you could possibly have, right?
Yeah.
It worked out for you because the way you kind of handled yourself after it. So that's a great story, man. I'm glad to share that with these guys. So, you did just mention, you guys had a coaching change at Morehead. You guys
Yeah.
had a really successful last couple of years. The coaching staff that initially recruited you had moved on. Now you guys have a new head coach. He came from Notre Dame, and I think before Notre Dame was at Boston College. How has that process been for you to kind of, in the middle of your college career, have to change coaches and get a different aspect? And I know we had texted back and forth when that whole change was happening, and we were kind of talking about how to handle that a little bit. And it's almost got to be a wait and see and just see how it unfolds. And you had mentioned a little bit about kind of taking the best of both worlds, right? The things that you learned from your previous coaching staff, and then obviously with the new coaching staff, having all these different ideas and these thoughts and kind of blending them together and working what's best for you.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool aspect to see 2 different coaches back to back on the same team with the same players, because you really get to see like what you like and what you don't like. And I mean, it's not really about what you like and what you don't like. It's what you can use and what you don't want to use. You don't have to use all the information that's given to you. You just have to use it to your best of your abilities. And I think seeing that these 2 coaches have like 2 totally different styles of coaching. So I've been able to like kind of blend on what I like, and I think it's like completing me as a player
Yeah,
overall.
I think that's a really important point too, because a lot of times, guys will have a high school coach that maybe coaches one way, right? And then they go to college and maybe they end up realizing that coaching staff coaches a completely different way than maybe what they've been used to. But that doesn't mean necessarily that it's a bad thing, right? You can have 2 different style of coaches, and you can still take a lot out of it. It's just they may coach a little different, and it's taking the positives out of it, taking what they're trying to teach you, and trying to that you can learn and kind of running with that and taking that in stride.
Yeah, and Exactly. As I developed as a player, I started to like just learn like what works best for me, and then the information the coaches have been giving me kind of like blend it together and use their words, but put it into my own like mental like repertoire to like get those clicks to get to where I need to be. Kind of like change the language into my put it into my own words to make whatever they're trying to say to me work.
Sure. So you've had a really good year last year. You started off really hot. You had a really good tournament, I think it was, for your conference, and your name's starting to kind of circulate a little bit in some draft conversation. You're draft eligible this year. Whether it happens this year or next year, how awesome would that be, and how amazing of a dream would that be to hear your kind of name called?
Oh, that's everyone's top goal and dream. I think that's that's where I want to be. That'd be cool if it happens.
Yeah, and dude, I hope it does happen for you because I know the work ethic that you put into things, and you could see your face really light up there, when I mentioned that, and you could tell that it'd be a huge deal for you. Is there any regrets that you would be able to tell players that when you look back at your high school days, whether on the travel side, whether it on the high school side, school wise, lifting wise, whatever the case is there anything that you kind of regret as a player that if you could take things back that maybe you would?
Um, I don't think I necessarily regret anything in the process that I've gone through, because it's been such like a learning experience, and the route that I've gone, I wouldn't switch it for the world. But during high school, I think it's just to experience like everything you can and just do it. Like my senior year, I gave up hockey to like really focus on baseball. I think just do it all. Just like I think that competitive edge you learn from the other sports you play is huge. It's hard to learn the team competitiveness you need playing baseball, because it is such like an individual like team sport. But like you play like those big team sports like hockey, football, basketball, like you depend on each other to like pass and score. And I think that develops like a huge competitiveness in baseball. I think play as much sports as possible.
Awesome. We'll see you, man. I don't want to take too much of your time. I know you have a team meeting here coming up, I think, and checking on the guys. But I'm so happy that you're able to come over to Rhino baseball. Starting at 17U and playing 18U, and then helping along in that process of the college recruiting side. And then I always appreciate our conversations whenever it's looking for advice or just saying hi to you and seeing how you're doing. And I'm so happy you came over because it's been a joy to watch you kind of grow as a player and a person. And I think you got many more years of baseball ahead of you. And keep working, man. Keep having that smile every time that draft conversation comes up, because it is a goal that I want to see you hit. And couldn't be more excited to see your future.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. It's been fun seeing the Rhino baseball family grow over the years too. It's super cool. I'm happy I'm still a part of it.